Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. On behalf of the core team, Mental Health Webinar Series, and the organizer, Department of Psychology, the American College, Madurai, and the associating partners, Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, International Center for Clinical Psychology, Psychotherapy, Germany, MS Chelamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation, Madurai, Red Pond Educational and Psychological Research Center, Madurai, and Psycho-Oncological Association, Turkey. We welcome you all to the 311th session of the webinar series today. And today we have Ms. Sadhvi Nirmal to talk about understanding non-verbal cues. And now I invite Ms. Akshay Lakshmi to give introduction about our resource person today.
Thank you, Chandra ma'am, for the opportunity. I'm very glad to introduce our speaker for the day, Sadhvi Nirmal. She's one of my friend as a G classmate, and I had seen her growth personally. And right now, she is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology, MS Chelamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation, Madurai. And also, she's a part-time faculty in the Department of Psychology, Madurai Kamaraj University, Madurai. And she is currently pursuing PhD in MS Chelamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation. She has a master degree in applied psychology from Women's Christian College, Chennai, and MPhil in psychology from Madras University, Chennai. She has work experience as a school counselor in Happy Schooling Project of MS Chelamuthu Trust, and she has been working as an assistant professor in Madras Madurai Institute of Social Sciences. She has also constructed a scale on career plateauing for employees in India, and she has done an extensive study on career plateauing of employees, emotional intelligence, and parenting styles. And we had a wonderful session of hers earlier, and we were really glad that we were able to get a lot of information from her and interact to session 2. So we would also hope a very interesting topic for today. So we have our resource person today for a wonderful session. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Akshaya, for the very warm welcome which you gave me. And yeah, I'm very glad that you and Ananya both together coordinating the program very well, and also all the core team members. And also, I would like to thank Suresh Kumar sir for giving me the opportunity second time for talking in this webinar series. And I think we'll start with the session for today. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, it is very visible.
And it's full view, right?
Yes, full screen.
Okay, full screen. Yeah. Fine. So today my topic would be understanding nonverbal cues. So basically I'd be talking about the components and what are the different components which are there in nonverbal communication. So I know it's a very broad topic and we can talk about it for a long time, but now I would like to talk about this in a very it's a very introductory session with the components, various components, which will just give you a brief outline about what are the components which are involved in nonverbal communication. So first, when it comes to communication, can anyone say what a communication is? What is a communication? You can answer the chat box, and you can also unmute yourself and tell, or if you cannot unmute, you can put it in the chat box. What is communication? To start with. Yeah, expressing our thoughts to others, sharing of thoughts. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Communication
Yes. Yes.
Communication is what the receiver receives.
Yeah, exactly. So communication is a sharing of information, and it involves a sender and a receiver. The sender sends the message, and the receiver he decodes the message. So this is the process of communication. So when it comes to communication, there are two different types of communication. So the first one is the verbal communication, and the next one is the non-verbal communication. So we all know what verbal communication is. So verbal communication is something which is the words which we use. Okay, so the how we use the words in our communication, whatever auditorily what we say. Okay, so the words means the verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is anything other than the words which we use to communicate. Okay, so other than the words, in the sense it may be our body posture, or it may be our gestures, or it may be our eye contact. Okay, so anything other than words come under the non-verbal communication. So what do you think are the difference between verbal and non-verbal communication? Can you say that? Can you put it in the chat box? Like maybe an advantage of verbal communication and a non-verbal communication? Yeah, non-verbal needs more understanding. Yes, exactly. So yes, verbal communication is assuring. Yes. So now when you are doing a non-verbal communication, no, it may be a quite confused, right? Because when you are using a verbal communication, you are very clear. You are precise. You just say what you want to say. But when it comes to non-verbal communication, different people can perceive it in a different manner. So it may be quite confusing for us. Yeah. And verbal communication is something which is formal as well as informal, whereas non-verbal communication is an informal communication, right? Different people can perceive it in a different manner, right? So it is a more clearer. Verbal communication is more clear with words, whereas non-verbal communication is requires a lot of more understanding in order to decode it in a right way. So verbal is more clear and other may be ambiguous. Yes. So yes, so that is why today we are going to give more importance to non-verbal communication. We are going to talk about the different aspects, the different components of non-verbal communication. Yeah. So here there is a rule. Okay, so there is a person known as Mehrabian. Okay, he gave a rule of communication. Okay, Mehrabian is a professor of psychology, and as a result of his two studies in non-verbal communication, he came with this rule. Okay, which is a 7-38-55 rule. Okay, so what he basically says is that only 7% of communication. Okay, how we communicate, or the understanding level, or how we communicate, only 7% is the verbal use of words which is effective. Okay, the remaining aspects all depend on our non-verbal communication. Okay, so 38% depends on our tone of voice. Okay, the effectiveness of communication, 38% is based on our tone of voice, and 55% is based on our body language. Okay, so basically only 7% comes from what we speak, the words we speak. Okay, so this is what he says. 7% is verbal, and nearly 93% of our communication is happening through non-verbal communication. Okay, so yeah, so even though this formula, okay, it has several limitations, or there has been criticisms which is made on his rule, but nearly most of the experts and most of the researchers, they agreed on that 65 to 75%, 70%, not if not 93%, at least all the researchers, most of the researchers agreed that 65 to 70% of our communication is non-verbal. So see how important non-verbal communication is. Yeah. So most of the time, the non-verbal communication which we use, it is involuntary and it's unconscious. Without even our conscious awareness, we use most of our most of the non-verbal cues. Okay. So for example, when I'm talking, without my awareness, my hands moves here and there, right? Even sometimes, when we sing or when we talk, we move our hands or we may close our eyes. So even without our awareness, this non-verbal communications happens. So we call this non-verbal communication, mostly it's involuntary, and without our conscious awareness, it happens. Okay, so it is an automatic response to in many situations. Okay, so non-verbal communication doesn't carry the same meaning to different cultures. There are cultural differences in non-verbal communication, because what I consider as yes over here, okay, most of the part of a country, we mean nodding means yes. right? When someone asks us something, if we're not, then it means yes, right? But in Bulgaria, it means no. Nodding the head means no. So there are certain differences in different cultures. Okay, so there are different cultural differences in nonverbal communication, which we have to keep in, which we have to be aware of. And they can either, these nonverbal communications, they can either support or destroy the good intentions. Okay, whatever we are coming to say, even though our intentions are good, even though whatever we want to communicate, we have a good intention, through our non-verbal verbal communication, we may even destroy the good intentions. We may look like we are not having a good intention. Okay, so through our non-verbal communication only, it determines whether whatever we are saying supports or it contradicts to whatever we are saying, the verbal and non-verbal. Okay, so it should be in line with each other. Okay, so that is the point of having the whole session today, to bring about awareness in our non-verbal cues. Okay, so next we move on to the importance of non-verbal communication. Why non-verbal communication is important? Okay, so firstly, it helps to strengthen a first impression. So there are places where you don't get the opportunity to go talk to them in the beginning, right? So even without the verbal communication, what plays an important role in forming an impression is your non-verbal communications. It may be the way you talk, or it may be the way you walk, even, or how you carry yourself, right? So all that, while seeing you, even without your verbally communicating, without even opening your mouth, your first impression may be formed. Okay, so it helps to strengthen. When you be aware of your nonverbal cues which you're sending, you can strengthen your first impression. And next one, it plays a very important role during face-to-face situations. Okay, so most of our interpersonal conversation, even now when I'm talking to you guys, there is non-verbal communication which is happening. Okay, so if I sit and talk to you with my I'm saying I'm so happy to meet you all and all that. Okay, but I'm very sad. I'm not looking at the screen, and I'm not giving eye contact, or I'm seeing here and there. So it leaves a contradictory message, right? So in all the interpersonal conversations we do, there is the non-verbal communication which plays an important role. So usually, next point, usually this non-verbal communication is believed over the verbal communication. Okay, so even the verbal communications may lie, right? I may say something, but it may contradict my non-verbal behavior. So non-verbal behavior believed more than the verbal communications. Okay, sometimes some people may say I'm okay. Okay, when you ask how are you, some people may say I'm okay, but their non-verbal communication may contradict it. Okay, they may feel you can see just by having a look at them, you know that they're not okay. Fine. So in these cases, even the non-verbal communication is more relied on, and it is more believed over the verbal communications. Okay. And next, it helps in workplace effectiveness. When it in the place of work setup as well, this non-verbal communication is very helpful. Okay, because once you understand people around you, once you understand what non-verbal cues others around you are giving or exhibiting, okay, you're better able to work well along with your co-workers and with your superiors and even with your customers. Okay, so non-verbal, like knowing and understanding non-verbal communication can help in workplace effectiveness as well. And next one, it improves the interpersonal relationship. Any interpersonal relationship, not just the words. You when you are better able to understand whatever they are communicating non-verbally, then it definitely improves your interpersonal relationship. It makes you more it makes you like look more caring person, and you are showing you are acknowledging their non-verbal cues, which means that it improves your interpersonal relationship as well, right? So now we move on to the functions of non-verbal communication. So what are the different functions? There are 5 major functions which the non-verbal communication does. So the first one is reinforcement or repetition. So this function is that it reinforces, or it is a repetition to what our verbal communication does. Okay, so non-verbal communication can be used to reinforce whatever we say non-verbally, sorry, verbally. Okay. So for example, I may say, if at all my friend is performing in the stage, okay. So what do I say? I would say, instead of just saying all the best, I would hug her, right? I would hug her, or I would pat on her shoulder. Okay, I'll say all the best, and we'll be excited, right? So when this guy is not just all the best, I'm also reinforcing through a non-verbal activity, like non-verbal cue, like hugging her or showing support through patting or something like that. So in this case, my non-verbal communication can reinforce my verbal communication or my verbal words. Fine. So the next one is substitution. So here what it comes is that I can use non-verbal communication as a substitute to my verbal communication. Everything need not be talked out, right? Sometimes even by non-verbal communication, I can communicate. For example, I can just say, instead of saying hi, I can just wave my hand, right? Or instead of saying bye, also I can wave my hand. So in these cases, non-verbal communication is substituting my verbal communication. So this is another verbal communication. Next one is contradiction. Sometimes, what happens? My verbal communication and my non-verbal communication may be contradictory. Okay, so I may think something and I may tell something out. Okay, so in that case, is also non-verbal communication can help us to understand what it is, what actually is going on. Sometimes it can be a sarcasm as well, where the food will be lousy, it won't be good. Okay, but some of the person may say, wow, what a wonderful food. Okay, when the food is not really well, they can even use it as a way of sarcasm. Okay, they can say, wow, the food is very good, it's very tasty, it's very flavorable. Okay, they can give you a contradictory statement. So it can be used for sarcasm, as well as some people can hide their feelings. Okay, well, while saying if they are not okay, also they may say, how are you? When we ask how are you, they may say, I'm okay. Okay, so it can be used for sarcasm, as well as it can be used in situations where they're not well as well, right? So there may be some contradictions between verbal and non-verbal communication. In that times also, if you pay careful attention to their non-verbal communication, non-verbal cues which they are sending, you may be able to understand what they're actually going through. And next one is accentuation. Okay, so accentuation is giving intensity or giving a strong intensity or power to whatever you're saying. Okay, for example, when I see my friend, when I see my friend after a long time, okay, I'm seeing her after a long time, we'll say, no, I'm so happy to meet you, I'm so glad to see you after a long time, we'll say. We won't say, like, there will be some intensity, or the way I tell, no, I'll be like very excited. Hey, I'm so happy to meet you. I'll be like very happy, right? My tone itself will be like that, right? So that gives intensity to what I say. It accentuates what I say. It emphasizes what I'm trying to tell. Okay, so that is another function, which is accentuation. The next one is a regulation. A regulation is, I can use nonverbal communication to regulate a particular behavior or particular thing, turn taking maybe. Okay, so for example, in a group, if there is a group of people who are there, and if I have to intimate turn taking, okay, so I can use non-verbal communication. Instead of each time I'm saying, okay, you tell, next you tell, next you tell, instead of me asking people to tell each and every time, I may use non-verbal communication to just denote that it is your turn. Okay, I may use my eyes, I can use my eyes and I can make others think that it's their turn next, or I can even show my hands. It's you. Okay, so it is like for regulating, or for turn taking, I may use non-verbal communication. So these are 5 major ways or 5 major functions of non-verbal communication. Okay, so yeah. So next we are moving on to the different components. Okay, which are the different types of non-verbal communication which we are going to see. So here we have these this 9 non-verbal communication, and there are even more than this. Okay, I have all these slides and I will try to cover all of these within the time given. Okay, Fine. So first we'll move on to paralinguistics. So paralinguistic is what is left, like paralinguistic is what is left after detecting the verbal content from the speech. Okay, like after taking away the words. Okay, so how you say it, it's not what you say it. Okay, the words or what words you say is not the paralinguistic, is how you say that particular word. Okay, the elements include voice, the speed, pitch, pause in between. Okay, my rhythm of talking, my volume, whether I'm talking very slow or very high. Okay, my stress, where I'm giving stress, and my tone. Okay, they may modify the meaning. The way I tell no, that may modify my what I'm going to tell, what I'm trying to tell. Okay, so that is the paralinguistic, the elements of the elements which is other than what I say. Okay, the other than the words, how I say it is the paralinguistic. All oral messages have paralinguistic or paralanguage. Whatever I say, whatever oral messages I give, whenever I talk, no, there is the paralanguage, right? There is paralanguage. So, yes, it is often described as how of the utterance and not the what part. One second. Yes, sorry for that. Yeah, so how I say that and how what is the like more than what I say, how I say is the paralinguistic thing. Okay, so the research has found that the paralinguistics convey emotions that can be accurately judged regardless of the content of the message. Okay, so rather than telling something, no, the how I tell that influences more. Okay, how I tell a particular message that influences more than what I say. Okay, even I can lie with my words, right? I can say something, I can lie with my words, I can say something, you look very beautiful, or I can say anything, but how I say it, that means a lot. That means what I am actually about to say. Next one, sign. So volume of voice is a whisper. Whether I whisper, then that means something else, and whether I'm loud or whether I'm shouting. So that is that is the volume of voice. Next one is the speed of voice. The speed of voice is whether I'm slow or whether I'm fast. That also communicates something about me. Okay, and the intonation is the variation of voice or on my speech. Okay, whether there is variation, suddenly I'm talking very fast and suddenly I'm very slow, so that implies something about me. And next one is a tone. Okay, so the tone tells about my mood and emotion. Okay, what how is my mood, or what is my emotion which I'm currently going. So that is the tone. Next one is the pronunciation. Okay, how I pronounce, that gives information about my background, my regional association. We know, no, we say, okay, this particular slang is from this place. We try to associate, like, right, through the pronunciation we try to associate the regional association and schooling and even the financial status. And next one is the articulation. Okay, the clarity in the voice suggests my competence and confidence. Instead of me being very I'm not very articulate, or if I stumble or something like that, that denotes or that conveys some message about me, right? Next one is the pause. Yeah, there is temporary pause. While I'm talking, if I give up temporary pause, okay, that may show that I am uncertain about something, or it may also show hesitation or even an uneasiness. Okay, so these are some of the components of paralinguistics. Next, we move on to proxemics. Okay, so proxemics, can anyone say what proxemics is? Have you heard of proxemics? Uh, have you heard of
the word proximity?
Yes, yes.
How close we are standing to each other and how affiliated we feel to somebody, the
Yes,
distance that we maintain. But I think in
exactly.
the times of COVID, This is maintaining social distancing. I don't know how do we look into it now.
Yeah, true, very true. Yeah, and thank you for that. So proxemics is the physical distance. Okay, so how through our distance while we are interacting, no, the distance which we maintain from others, or we that can tell something about the conversation or about the relationship that they have, right? So like the guarding of territories by animals, birds, fishes, they all have their own territory, right? They'll like, if you see the dogs, they have their own territory. They'll be around that street, or they'll have this street of their own. They'll be staying there. And all the animals and birds, everyone have their own territories. Like that, even animals, even human beings as well, they do have their territories or boundaries. Okay, so Edward Hall, he coined the term proxemics, from proximity or nearness. Okay, so the man, like a human being, they carry a own portable air bubble around themselves, and its size varies, depends on the culture and varies. Okay, so we are going to see the different distance and what each of it means. Okay, so it depends on the culture. In some culture it may be different, but still some of the zone distance we're going to see. So the first one is the public space, which is 12 feet and above. Okay, so here what happens, the public talks, or when you are addressing a wide gathering, this public space happens. Okay, when you are in a stage and when you are interacting with others, with the audience, then this public space happens. And next one is the social space. Social space is from 4 feet to 12.5 feet. So here most of the business conversations or business contacts that happens. Okay, where any of the you engage in any business conversations or formal conversations, you this conversations take place between 4 feet to 12 feet. And next one is the personal space. So personal space is where your family members and your friends, everyone comes under this personal space, where it comes from the distance of 1.5 to 4 feet. And next one is the intimate space. Intimate space is only reserved for very close friends, intimate partners, and all of them comes under the intimate space. Okay, so here it happens from 0 to 1.5 feet. Okay, so when people cross their boundaries, or when a person who should be there in a social space comes into a personal space, or a personal space, when they come into an intimate space, no, it may feel uncomfortable for that particular person. So the distance we maintain, the distance in which we have a conversation, or the distance from which we communicate, that also tells about the communication we are having. Okay, and how comfortable we are. So next one is the artifacts. Okay, so artifacts or the forms of decorative ornaments that are chosen to represent self. Okay, so how I would like to decorate myself, or how I'd like to show myself, that is the artifacts. Okay, so they can include rings and tattoos. Okay, I may like to project myself, how I would like to project myself, how I would like others to see me. So it would involve it may include rings or tattoos, or it may be a brand name. I would like to show myself as a person who uses this brand. Okay, so I would like to show myself as a person who use an Apple laptop or an Apple phone, or through the logos. Okay, so how I would like others to see me. And it can also be from clothes to the car which I drive, my watch, my briefcase, even my purse, whether I wear my branded purse or what brand I use, and even eyeglasses. Okay, so however and whatever way I want to surround myself with, that is called as the artifacts. I would like to express myself through the things and ornaments which I own, is called as the artifacts. Okay, so here it also involves the personal appearance as well. Okay, how would I like to dress myself up? So how I dress up, that sends a signal about myself, right? And how appropriately I dress to a particular place, all that matters. Next, we're moving on to gestures. So gestures are the bodily movements, or especially our hands, what we use to communicate something. So here in gestures, we have three different aspects. First one is adapters, next one is emblems, and third one is illustrators. So these three constitutes of gestures. So here let's see what each of them are. So first one is the adapters. So adapters are touching behaviors, okay, and movements that indicate internal states of arousal. Okay, so here adapters means it is touching behavior. Okay, so which touching behavior which expresses or which shows my internal states of arousal or anxiety. So adapters can be targeted towards self, okay, myself, or towards an object, or about others. Okay, so like the touching behavior on myself also it can happen, right? I can touch myself when I'm talking. No, if I touch my, if I keep touching my head, if I if I keep wiping my neck, or I can do something in order to like pacify myself. Okay, it shows my internal states of arousal or my anxiety. And next one is the objects. I can also engage in a touching behavior with a pen nearby me. I can just keep on tapping my pen. When I'm anxious, no, I keep ticking my pen, or I can keep, I cling on to my papers, set of papers when I'm talking. So all these indicate that I'm nervous, or I'm trying to show something about me, or it can be others as well, another person as well. My adapters can be another person as well. I can keep clinging to another person. I can stand near that person, or I can hide behind that person. Okay, so that is the adapters. And next one is the emblems. So emblems are gestures that have a specific agreed on meaning. Okay, so for example, we have thumbs up, right? So thumbs up means you did well. Okay, so if I show thumbs up, everyone over here knows that I mean you done well, or good. Okay, you did well. So that is thumbs up. It has an agreed on meaning like all throughout. If I use a particular emblem here, then all of you over here will understand what I'm trying to convey. So that are emblems. Can you all suggest any of the emblems which you are aware of, just to see if you are with me, if you can understand the concept? Can you suggest some emblems like thumbs up, thumbs down? Yes, exactly. Thumbs down is there. Like thumbs up, there is thumbs down. Yeah. And we have others. Yeah, two fingers for victory, right? Yes, very good. Thank you. Yeah, we show two fingers for victory. Yeah, peace also. Yes, for peace also we say V. Yeah. Anything else? And we also say if something is so nice, we say super, right? We show this, it's super. Yeah, so there are, thank you very much. So there are all these emblems which we use on a daily basis, right? And next one, the last aspect, last component of gestures is the illustrators. Okay, so illustrators are the most common type of gestures and are used to illustrate the verbal message they accompany. Okay, so I can try to illustrate something through my non-verbal communication, through my gestures. For example, when I say this is very huge, when I say something, when I try to explain something that it is a very big thing or it's a very huge thing, I automatically expand my hands, right? I would show a wide hand. I would say it was so big. I would say my hands would also widen up, right? So I would like to I would illustrate my verbal message through my hands, through my expression of hands. So that is illustrators. Okay. Yes. So next one is chronemics. So chronemics refers to the time. Okay, how time influences the non-verbal communication. Okay, so how different people can perceive time and how the perception of time tells about them. Okay, what it tells about that particular person, how the particular person perceives time also tells something about that person, right? So there is cultural time, like different culture of people, they perceive time in a different meaning. For example, I may consider punctuality, being punctual in a different way, and from different cultures, maybe 5 minutes of delay may be considered a punctual only. Okay, but in some places, if you have to be on being on 10 is a punctual timing. But some places 5 or 10 minutes less, like later than that is considered normal, right? So there is cultural time. So there is two different culture of people. One is monochronic culture and the other one is polychronic cultures. Okay, both of them perceive time in a different manner. So monochronic culture people, they wanted to focus just on one particular task at a time. Okay, they don't want to do multitasking. They just focus on one particular time, and they are more time concerned. Okay, they are more concerned with the timing of that particular task. And next one is the polychronic cultures. And polychronic, they focus on many different tasks. Okay, so they perceive time differently. So when you see a person, if they are like monochronic, you tell that this person is a very organized person. This person finish off one thing and then only he moves on to the next thing. He see to that one task is completely and perfectly done, and then only he moves on to the another task. Whereas polychronic persons, they are multitasking. They do this, that all together at one particular time. Okay, so they are so how they perceive time and how they utilize time, that also tells something about them. The next one is the body posture. Okay, how many more minutes I have, Akshya? Can I continue?
Sadhvi, you can continue. Akshay is not here. You can
Okay.
continue. You have got 20 more minutes, which includes also discussion.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So next one is the posture. Okay, so posture is the way we sit or how we stand. So this shows something about us. It reveals something about us, which is whether I'm comfortable, in that particular place. That can be found out with my posture, right? My comfort level and my professionalism, etc. Many of other things can be understood by the posture, by the way I sit. So that is posture. And for example, I have given two different things or three different things. Closed posture is when it may show or may mean that I'm hostile or I'm tired, or it may also mean I'm anxious. Okay, so when I'm closed, when I'm sitting like this as shown in the picture. Okay, and next one is the open posture. So open posture means I'm willing, I'm open. Okay, I'm open to learn, or I'm willing, or a friendly move. Okay, or I'm my confidence. So it may mean my open posture may mean I'm open to open to learning. And next one is the defensive posture. So defensive posture may, if I sit cross-legged, or if I have my arms crossed, or if I have my legs crossed, so it may mean that I'm defensive. Okay, so this is all these. I'm not telling this means this only. Okay, it may mean like this. Okay, so there may be cultural differences and there may be individual differences, but still these are the perceptions people have. I'm not here to tell this is wrong or this is right. These may be the perceptions of people who perceive it. Okay, so the next one is the facial expressions. Okay, so these are some of, like the picture shows, there's some universal facial expressions. Okay, so human face, we all know that the human face is very expressive. Okay, so with our face itself, we can communicate a lot, I think so. Okay, our face speaks a lot. Even when we tell lie, or even when we want to hide something, our face, it can't be done with our face, and especially with our eyes, right? So human face is very, very expressive, and you can convey countless emotions without even saying a word. We say, that's why we say facial expressions, right? Even the Bharatanatyam dancers and all, they dance well, and they portray a song, or they portray a story even without telling a word, even without a song. Okay, even without the verbal lyrics of a song, they can convey a story beautifully through their facial expressions, right? So that is facial expressions. And these universal facial expressions mean same for different cultures as well. Okay, like the happiness, when you're happy, your face, you smile, and there is the facial expression like this. Okay, so I have put some examples of this. So simple smile is approval of something. When you smile, no, it means that you are approving of something. And next one, frowning of eyebrows may mean disapproval. You're not approving with something. Or nostril flaring may see that may show that you're aroused or you're agitated. Okay, and lip compressed may show up that you're frustrated. Okay, so different facial expressions can express different messages. Next one is eye gaze. See here, this image, this cute image here, it shows various eye gaze, right? We have various ways in which we use our eyes and different meaning for different eye gaze, right? We also stare if we look at a person. Okay, if we keep staring at them, if we keep looking at them for without moving, or it may even say you are staring at a person, or it may show interest, right? So it depends on how you use your eye gaze. Okay, if you just keep on looking at a person, it may mean two different ways: an interest, or a good interest, or a bad interest, or it may be even staring at a person, right? So using eye contact, we communicate interest and attraction. Okay, so looking, the various things are looking, staring at a person, blinking my eyes, and even winking with my one eye, or rolling my eye. Each of it may express different meaning. And looking something we like. Okay, like when we are looking something we like, the rate of blinking increases. The how many times we blink may increase, and our pupils may dilate. We may look with a wide eye. Okay, and next, looking away, like looking away from a person. If you're not having a proper eye contact with the person, it indicates that you disrespect that person, or you're not interested in that person. Okay, and next one is the eye gaze to determine honesty. You can also find out whether the person is telling the truth, or whether the person is honest enough with their eye gaze itself. Okay, it's such a powerful tool. Our facial expression, especially eyes, have so much power, right? So the normal steady contact means they are truthful and trustworthy. Okay, normal, they are having a steady eye contact with you, and they have a normal eye contact means they're trustworthy and truthful. Whereas if they have shifty eyes, they cannot maintain eye contact at all. Their eyes shifts, they cannot meet your eyes at all. And if they're not maintaining eye contact, that may mean that they are lying. Okay, they're lying, or they're not comfortable with something, or they're not comfortable with you. It may say something about them, right? Next one is the haptics. Haptics is touch. Okay, how you communicate through touch. We can communicate something through touch as well, right? When a person, like the second image, when a person is not well, or when a person is not comfortable, or when a person is very sad, okay, just by giving them a gentle touch can make them feel happy. Like not happy, feel them okay, right? A form of support. Okay, so you can communicate a lot through touch as well. So it can show love, it can show affection, familiarity. Okay, you can when you go and touch and speak with a person, it means you're familiar with that person. You won't go and touch a person who is not known to you, right? So and it may also express sympathy. So research states that women's touch, okay, women's touch conveys care, concern, and nurturance, whereas men's touch, it shows it asserts power and control. Okay, so other person must be when you are engaging in a touching behavior, when you are using touch in a conversation, the other person must be okay with the touching. Okay, you can't invade their personal space, or you can't enter their proximal zone. Okay, you should be aware whether the other person is okay with your touching. So that is very important. Okay, and it should never be used to convey anger and frustration. See, non-verbally, when I'm talking about this, okay, when I'm saying that touch can show a love and affection, it cannot be used in other ways, right? It cannot be used for showing anger or frustration. You cannot beat some person, or you cannot abuse others. Okay, so it should not be used to convey negative aspects. So I think I'm at end of the session. Okay, so next one is improving nonverbal communication skills. So some of the things, okay, so what you can do in order to improve your nonverbal communication skills is to pay attention to your body language. Okay, start now. You're aware. Now that you're aware of all the components of communication. Yeah, so now that you're aware of your nonverbal communication, please pay attention to your nonverbal, to your body language, your facial expression, your posture during casual exchange with others. Okay, so you start paying attention to what you're doing, how you are communicating non-verbally. Okay, so paying attention can make you realize some aspects which you are not aware of before. And next one is use body language that supports your verbal communication. When you're trying to communicate something, be aware, and in the beginning start consciously start using non-verbal or body language which supports your verbal communication. Okay, be aware of that. And next one is mimic non-verbal communication you find effective. Okay, you would have found out that this particular non-verbal communication is effective to me, or it is doing well, or others would have given a feedback. Okay, so mimic that non-verbal communication which you find effective for you. Okay, so yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm done. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Thank you very much, Sadhvi, for your nice presentation on non-verbal cues. Now the session is open for discussion. Participants, you can kindly unmute your mics to question, or you can put your questions in the chat box.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sadhvi, it was a great show, Sadhvi. Seriously, just to think about lives, it was a lovely show.
Thank
Okay,
you.
one question, it's just running in my head, why do we have to concentrate on this? Now, is it just to justify or jump up to conclusions on people by just looking at their body language or gesture, or what is it for, mainly?
To understand, first of all, to understand others. Okay, it may be your it may be helpful for your interpersonal relationships. Okay, if you're more if you can see rather than just the verbal message, whatever they're communicating through non-verbally, it can help you to have a good interpersonal relationship with them, first thing. And I think we saw the other advantages as well, even in the workplace, to understand people, or in order to understand human beings in a better way. Okay, so I think as it is more, when we are communicating, majority of the part comes from non-verbal communication. So I think we have to be more aware of non-verbal communication and what we are trying to tell, how we are trying to tell, because there are more possibility of it becoming misinterpreting, or we don't know what is happening, why some people are not liking me, or what is happening, what is a mistake I'm doing. Okay, so why am I always taken up wrongly, or why am I mistaken? Okay, in that cases, maybe we have to be more cautious about our non-verbal communication as well, non-verbal cues which we are sending to other people.
Good, Sadhvi. I've just got something out of it, but I could see most of the people out here where we engage with them, and we try to build in a proper interpersonal relationship. But instead, what happens is they pretend to having a fake face, be it in Big Boss they call, right, having a fake face, a kind of a mask they wear, and understand people at that point of time where they are actually pretending, having a cute body language.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think that is also they are more aware of the body language and non-verbal cues which they are sending. So that is why they can fake it. And I think from our point of view, we should be able to understand, if we pay more attention to their cues, what they are trying to do. And see, even the research says, only even if we use all these things, and even if we try to understand people from this perspective, like only 60% of the time we can understand others. It's not that 100% we can predict other people. Okay, we can't say, okay, I know everything about you. We can't tell that, right? It's like only we can know about them to some extent, but there are people who like who mimic or who try to have a fake thing in a very good manner. Okay, but still, from our point of view, we can predict only to 60% or 70%. Not everything. We can't say that this person is lying. Even the lie detection test, no, only you can say 60% whether this person are lying or not. So it's not everything. We can't predict them wholly. It's just a part which we can do, a small aspect which we can try to understand other person with.
Thank you, Sadhvi. And I just my question, like because everybody, has the habit of inhibiting others. They
Yeah.
inhibit that. Okay, this is a good one, and that is,
Yeah.
and a clarification was been given. So thanks a lot, Sadhvi. Thank you. I hope everybody would have enjoyed this show.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for attending the session, Priya ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
It's my pleasure, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear.
This is Chandra here, Sadhvi. I have a curious question here.
Yes, yes.
In case of verbal communication, we can repeat what we say to reassure. But
Yeah.
is there anything like that with non-verbal communication to give reassurance or something like that? I'm not sure
Yeah,
whether we can do the same kind of cues the second time.
Yeah, I don't think that maybe like reassurance or we can't, because when we say verbally, more importance is given to our non-verbal cues, like how we say that. So I don't think we can you can always like counter act our non-verbal cues. I don't think so. If others have any other opinion, you can say, but I don't think it can be done. Maybe with a lot of efforts, or maybe the next maybe through verbal communication, or because most of the time we may get misunderstood or mistaken, right? Sometimes we get mistaken even when we have good intentions, through our as we are not aware of our non-verbal cues, what cues we are sending, as we are not aware of that, the message gets misunderstood. So I think through verbal communication, or maybe I think with some more efforts, maybe we can remove that particular or wrong message which was sent. Maybe. What are the others' point of view in that? You can also add on points. Like it's just a discussion. You can always add points to whatever I say.
First of all, I thank you for your views, Sadhvi, for my question. I'm just curious to know, because you know that the non-verbal cues are mostly misunderstood, even if we can talk better. So I was just curious to know if that's going to be a setback to the non-verbal communication. But I understand what you're trying to explain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have in business, it is very important to understand customers' non-verbal language. They will say one thing but expect other thing. We may understand their satisfaction in non-verbal only. Yes. So sometimes, most of the times, we may say, "Nalla irukka?" Abdin kekrappa, they may say, "Yes, it's nice." Okay, but through non-verbal communication only, we can understand whether the customer is actually satisfied or not. Okay, so in a business setting or in a work setting, we have to be aware of the non-verbal cues. We have to be able to understand the non-verbal cues which the customers are sending or the business partners are sending. Only then we can be an effective person, workplace person. And yeah, exactly. Thank you for your comment.
Good evening. Thank you for a lovely session. I also have a situation to share.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, what if, for example, I have a toothache and I am in withering pain, and yet I'm very happy to meet everybody. So my non-verbal gesture would be of pain. I mean, there are times that your non-verbal gestures also bring in a lot of confusion in your communication. Something like you walk off to work, you're happy to be at work, but you are maybe sad about the accident you saw on the road on your way back, on your way to office. So sometimes it is very confounding when you are interacting with people. So don't you think that communication, as per, I mean, telling people that, my facial expressions might be that I'm thinking something. Maybe I'm in my thought process and I'm not there, you know. So, and that creates confusion. Ma'am, please do share your points, ma'am.
Yeah, I heard the same question from my students as well. Okay, when I was like talking to them regarding this, I even heard the same question, the same interesting question I get from a lot of people. Okay, but still, yeah, I think this is the way where how others see you. Okay, there is no other thing. Even we know how what we went through and what is wrong. We may be aware of that. Okay, we would have faced a bad time, or in the morning I would have got some bad news from someone, so I may reflect that in my workplace, but my boss may interpret it in a different manner. Okay, my boss may say I'm not interested, or he may feel bad, and he may take it in a wrong sense, definitely. So I think that happens. Only we know what we are going through. So I think, but how others perceive you is whatever I said. Okay, so we have to be like, I know it's difficult, but these are the awareness. I'm not saying this all should be done and we have to fake and all that, but we have to be aware that all these are the way in which others interpret us, or these are the way in which people perceive us. Even when we are sad, if that doesn't matter. Okay, that doesn't, no one looks past us why this person is doing like this. Once they see us, they may think they're not interested. Yeah, so the whole point is to make you guys aware that these are the ways in which others perceive you. Yes, so it's all about the awareness which we are trying to build. It's not, I'm not here to tell that we cannot, like, we should not show whatever we think, we cannot show it. It's not like that. So I think we have to be aware of all this. Yes.
Actually, those who are aware about this non-verbal communication, they change their by showing their intentionally they show the non-verbal cues with a good intention, but actually their behavior is exactly contradictory to their non-verbal cues. So we cannot predict the person by seeing the non-verbal cues, isn't it, ma'am?
We see, but we are going deeper into this. Yes, but people can mimic, like whatever Priya ma'am asked. I think it is also the same, like whatever you asked, right? That is what she also asked. Some people may fake, or some people who are aware of this. Okay, even those who are not aware of this may fake. It's not that only people who are aware of non-verbal communication fakes. It's some people are naturally good at, they are good at being fake, or showing or hiding whatever they are having internally. Okay, so it is not it is, we cannot say that, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Yes, only even if you know non-verbal communication, or even if you use the lie detector, and if you see whether this person is lying or not, okay, even then you can't surely 100% say whether this person is right or wrong. Okay, only you can say, okay, this person is lying. To 60% you can say accurately this person is lying. You cannot say confirmed and say this person is lying. Okay, so people can always, they can fake and all that, but how we see, even though we say this, we can say that we should not judge person by the non-verbal cues. But when you go and sit in a classroom, okay, when I go and sit in a classroom, when I see students, if a student is sitting in a very bad manner, or if he's not listening to my class, he's seeing here and there, and if he's not listening to my class, then what will I feel? What will I say? I tend to think that he's not interested in my class. He may say, ma'am, I'm hearing whatever you're saying, Okay, whatever I'm saying, I'm hearing whatever it is. If you ask me questions also, I'll repeat. But when it comes to an or a casual day-to-day things, you perceive more based on the non-verbal communication only, the non-verbal cues which they're sending only. That is my point of view. Even though they may say I'm listening only and all that, but how we perceive it as they're not interested in the class. That is how I see that from a teacher point of view. I may take it that way, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, actually, I want to share a thing with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes non-verbal may be fake.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel tensed, but I don't want to show that to my kid. Actually, they may be in they are suppose they are going to an exam, but I have a lot more problems in my mind and my brain is going on. Sometimes brains going on in my like that. But I can't share my uh, verbal communication that time. Something stops me. But yeah, simple hug gives him the confidence. This non-verbal that time helps me a lot. It may be fake. Maybe I'm not the same form to give a hug, but I'm fakely giving a hug to my kid. But that gives him that much peace to that kid. It gives confidence to kid.
Yes.
Sometimes fake is also good, no? Looking
Yes. Yes, exactly. So sometimes I may show a fake, okay? I may show a fake smile, okay? But still, that is how what I have to do. So, for example, I'm going for an interview. I may have some bad things which happen for me, okay? Very bad thing which affects me so bad. But the interview is very important for me, and I know this is going to change my career. Okay, so what do I do in that time? Even though I'm sad, I have to show up, or I have to show my face as if I'm interested, or I should fake, right? So during that times, even I fake. Yeah, everyone fakes in that particular situation. Or I may have I may have gone through something in my house or some bad thing, and when I go to my class, no, I cannot go and sit with my face down, or I cannot be so sad and all that, right? So even though I'm sad, I have to fake it out. So in times we do that. In times, yes, we have to, and we do that, which gives which leads to a positive outcome, or which, like ma'am said, it may give a happy face to someone else. Okay. Or when I go to a function, okay, even if I'm in a bad mood, when I go to a function, I have to show, I have to fake being happy. Okay, I have to fake my smile, even though I have gone through a bad times. I'll fake with a smile, okay, so that my friend is happy with me. Okay, I don't want my friend to look at me with a sad face or frowning face. Okay, so so if it helps my friend, yes, I do fake, and we all do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for your very interesting questions, and making the session a very interactive one.
Thank you, Sadhvi, for your nice insights and clarity on verbal and non-verbal communication. And now I invite Dr. Sully to give his vote of thanks.
Thank you, Chandra ma'am, for giving the opportunity for the vote of thanks today. And Sathvi ma'am, we are very happy to be here today as a resource person, since you are from MS Chellamurthy Institute. They are one of the sponsor of or organizer of this web series. So we are doubly happy to be a resource person today. So special thanks for that. And today's session, non-verbal communications, all the aspects we covered, ma'am, like importance of non-verbal communications, functions, and different types and paralinguistic signs of the non-verbal communication, how to mind the zone distance and artifacts, like posture, gestures, and eye gestures, and lot. I think you cover the entire 360-degree about the non-verbal communications. In fact, the question answer session were very useful and eye-opening session, because they very clearly identify how it will be useful. Non-verbal communication, it will be useful in our day-to-day life, how to find out the fact communication, all those things. And you clearly answered that doubts, and it was a very good eye-opening session. Like non-verbal communication, 50-50 we can say, ma'am. Like communication is always 50% only. Other 50% our post gestures only it's covering, communicating directly or indirectly. In that way, we can find out that they are telling the truth or not. So investigation also in the police and all those things, even the victims, their statements either true or not, they easily find out by gestures, posters, and eye contacts, all those things. So very good opening session, very good session. We learned a lot today. So kindly accept our gratitude on behalf of American College Madurai and MS Institute Madurai and MS Madras School of Social Work Chennai and the International Center for Psycho-Oncological Center German and Red Pond Educational Research Center Madurai. Thank you once again, ma'am. So thank you all the participants.
Thank you, Salim sir, and thank you, Chandra ma'am, Akshaya, Ananya, and all the core team members. And thank you very much, Suresh Kumar sir, for this opportunity. And thank you all the participants for being very interactive and asking a lot of interesting questions, which made me think as well. So yeah, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadhvi, and thank you everyone for being here this evening. Thank you.